Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a WrestleSlam episode. This is your only place to go and find anything wrestling related, about anything over the pond with certain independent companies like AEW, WWE, TNA, all the way to Ireland with major companies like RCW, Hard Knocks, and OTT. This is WrestleSlam, and I am sitting. I'm used to saying standing with Phil Connolly and Jerry Cullen. The two boys are here. And this week's special guest, we have him now. If you've been to one, not two, not three, not four, one RCW show, you may have seen this man all over the place. He has the most creative signs in wrestling, honest signs, may I say. And if you've been to so many shows, you know the name. He is the man in the corner. He is the man in the, should I say, Webb. But he is Conor Webb. How are you doing, Conor, lad?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
We are doing good. We are doing good. Like I said, a huge honor for you to be here on the show. I mean,
I've been listening and watching to your podcast for a while, so it's a great honor to be here. Thank you very much for having me.
No, thank you for coming on, lad. And we do this with all of our guests. You may know we like to actually have a little bit of an introduction to them. So, Conor, tell us a bit about yourself. The world wants to know the legend that is Conor Webb.
So I've been going to Irish wrestling for probably since the start of the CCW days. Then Phoenix, and obviously now RCW. I started actually the signs in CCW, but they didn't get as big as they have in RCW. So it's great to get over with something as easy as paper and a marker.
Yeah, what's kind of funny, there's so many places that just does not allow signs now. Understandable.
I hate that. I think it brings signs there just draws the wrestlers more to you. Like my signs at the last show were in the ring with Raven. O'Mari took my sign into the ring. Do you know?
Yeah. So at least you got that face now. The rest of us knows like what have they got now. But Jerry and Phil, how are ye? Focusing so much on Conor.
All good.
Yeah.
Being
all good.
Week, but all good.
Yeah, likewise. Busy 2 weeks on my end. Been a busy week this week, and I was in Dublin last week doing some media stuff with Canon Walsh. But yeah, no, great week. I'm happy to be back on the show. We took a week off after the last RCW show, so it's nice now to be refreshed. Although I'm not refreshed because I've had a crazy few days. But I'm happy Connor's here, happy Matt's here, happy Phil's here, and I'm buzzing, lads. I'm absolutely buzzing.
Yeah, and is all the interviews available on the Sports Matters YouTube channel now, Jerry?
So all the interviews from RCW and Hard Knocks, Bear, LJ Clary, are up, Matt. We apologise. We are so sorry, Matt. You sent it to us. We somehow have not uploaded it yet. So yes, public apology first of all, Matt Murphy. We are sorry. LJ will be up in the next 24 hours.
Yeah.
And all the stuff with Callum Walsh. Dana, I interviewed Dana White. They're all up. And Irish Examiner, you motherfuckers want to give me credit for the questions I was asking, taking all my questions and putting them on your tabloids. Now, you have acknowledged me since, but how dare you? How dare you not acknowledge me?
Jerry calling out the Irish Examiner. Bold move, but come on, guys. Give the man credit.
That's a very frequent thing, though. They do that a lot.
They've done that to me so many times. And they've done it to Phil.
Yeah.
Phil was, Wrestle Inc. never quoted me in Phil one time. And then they
I never got quoted for the Colin Healy goal that went everywhere.
Yeah, the most viral video I've ever of Coxley.
It was mad, wasn't it? It got like 500,000 views or something.
That was in the space of 2 days, yeah.
So all in all, just like insert the payment to Jerry and Phil whenever you get a chance, lads.
Yeah, we're worth millions.
Yeah, and lads, I forgive you. Don't worry about that. We're all busy away. I'll just get back on to you when you least expect it. Now, anyway, let's move on to RCW. That was just last week. I know we didn't get a chance to upload a show last week, but gotta say, what in the show, boys? RCW, do you want to be a spaceman? And I think it's only fair that we start off with Conor Webb, the legend, the sign man. Conor Webb, what do you think about last week's show of RCW?
I have said this plenty of times. I just think RCW keep on giving us banger after banger. It's like you see a show and you think they can't go any higher, and then you go to the next show and they just raise it even more.
Mm-hmm. True that we always praise RCW, not just because of the media partnership, not because they're based in Cork. It's just they know how to keep bringing every single show.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we were just talking about that they actually brought in Dan Maloney.
That was big for RCW to bring him in.
Yeah, New Japan tag team champion and all that. So I was like, we're not going to question Billy and the team of RCW. Whoever they're going to bring in, major name, they're going to bring in. Jerry, Phil, what was your thoughts on RCW?
Maloney, first of all, he's sorry Phil. Maloney is people don't realize how big he is, lads. This guy's up there with Pac. He's up there with fucking Will Ospreay. This guy, he's elite. He is a machine. And yet again, he was in a great match. Owen Richards retained. But the guys that they've been bringing the last couple of months have been incredible. And the fact you have a guy like Maloney in Cork just shows what is ahead for RCW.
Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting, Phil. I apologize.
I was just going to say, and he's currently like one half of the junior heavyweight tag champs in New Japan. So that's all.
He's fucking some specimen.
Yeah. We saw so many.
Sorry, man, if you found him in bed with your wife, you took him in. Seriously, come on in. I'll leave you be here. I'll tuck you in. Here's a pillow.
Yeah, and you be in the next room and just like not
no,
even having.
I just leave the house. I wouldn't want to listen. I'd want to leave the house, but you tuck him in.
Yeah. Best introduction for him, because I remember when we seen so many wrestlers before, and we got a chance to go to the show beforehand, alongside with Firemarks, and we got a chance to see him and briefly meet with him. And Jesus Christ, the size of this man! I was like thinking, Big Dino has so many. Big Demo, sorry, has a competition right now, being the biggest man in RCW. And he, of course, had a match with Danny Jones and Owen Richards for the Rebel County Championship. My brain is sore, lads. RCW World Championship. And of course, we talked about Dan Maloney, but Owen Richards retains the title. And there was one moment that happened in the match where everyone stood up in hating the Saviors. But me and Jerry, we sat down the whole time. Do not ask any questions. That's what happened. Saviors all around. But let's go to the number one fan of the Saviors. He is the believer of the Saviors. He is Conor Webb. Conor, what do you think of Owen Richards winning the title?
I mean, I have never, even watching WWE, hated someone in all my life. I mean, but he plays the heel so well. But seeing everyone except you two stand up when the chant of "Stand Up, We Hate the Savior" started was one of the best things I've ever seen. And to see his face, he hated it, but then he looked over the TV and he realized he had two fanboys. Do you know?
He actually looked genuinely shocked as well when he seen that. He actually looked genuinely shocked.
Yeah. I think there's so many times I would see someone who's an absolute heel and the fan just hates him. I'm just like, they're like, I know you're a heel, but are you okay? And all that.
Like how long does he have that belt now? Like how many days is he champion? Like he must have like over a year, does he?
Just over a year, I think.
Yeah, I think it's just over it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think about like he said 300 days. 300 days, I think. Is that more?
I think he passed the year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that was like only like a few weeks ago.
Jerry, what do you think? You're the ultimate Savior fanboy as well.
Yeah, look, Owen is I think from where he started to where he is now, guys. It's been some journey for Owen Richards. he's incredible, guys. He's he's beat some of the best in the world. We know Moose. He was due to face Moose there a few months back. Moose was the TNA World Champion at the time.
Yeah.
Moose went running, but yeah, no, I like Owen a lot. I think he's a great wrestler. Great champion. Obviously, he gets the crowd going. He knows how to play the crowd. We know how to get his back as well. But yeah, I think he's epic. First of all, for Irish wrestling. He'll be in the RCW Hall of Fame when it's all said and done. And yeah, I love the way Conor kind of engages with him. That's one part I love watching. Conor must think I'm a bit of a freak. I'm always looking over and I'm looking at the signs and I admire what he does. And it's no, look, I think it's a game changer. And Billy Bedum acknowledged Conor. The signs are a great thing. And I think even when the wrestlers are backstage, they're wondering what he has, what kind of sign he has next for him. So it's epic. But yeah, big Owen Richards fan. I'll always be a big fan. I would like to see Anita back at some stage. But yeah, I'm always a Saviors fan.
Yeah, a reunion's got to happen. It has to happen.
Yeah.
Will happen. Billy, of course, didn't say anything yet, but I feel like it will happen. Anita's home is Cork. She's doing waves over in England and everything else. So safe to say the Saviors are strong at this one. But bad news is one member of the Saviors did not left RCW victorious, and that was Andy Steele taking on his longtime rival CBL in a bull rope match. Gonna be honest, lads, I thought this was probably one of the best match of the night, just because I said this to Billy, said this to you, I was so invested with this rivalry that's going on with CBL and
CBL is only a matter of time before he's world champion.
Oh well, it will happen.
I think next year's a big year for him in RCW.
Yeah. Oh, not just in RCW, but probably in Irish wrestling in general. I had a chance to interview him a few times, and he flat out said he wants to be the best in this country, and he's already there. I feel like at this point now.
I think is he fighting Justy this weekend? Is he? I think he's fighting Justy this weekend.
So I think that's true.
Or was it just the weekend just gone, or was it on that weekend just gone?
I think it was. Yeah, that was a show up the country somewhere.
Yeah, it was it was up the country.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. That was one of the town shows. Yeah. CBL he's a specimen and a half. You know what I mean? Copper Jacks need to give him the gold card ASAP. But no, he's savage and he's got a massive future in the game. He's an absolute workhorse. He's a big boy, and he knows how to wrestle, and he's a star, guys. He's an absolute star.
He knows how to get the character going as well. The character. People love that song when it comes on and they're chanting and they're singing. It's just, it's just about having fun, and which is very rare these days in wrestling anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can confirm, and I know I shouldn't talk about outside wrestling, but when I don't get a chance when the camera's off and I get a chance to talk with him privately, he is still CBL. He is still carrying that around him, and he's proud of it. Conor, what about yourself? I know you're gutted that Andy still didn't win this one, but the match with CBL.
Do you know what? CBL is just so over in RCW at the moment that I agree with what they said. He has to be world champion soon, and I feel that the match that Haskins beat Andy Steele for the world championship, I feel that if CBL did not get injured, that he would have won the match that night.
Yeah,
definitely. And of course, it's funny you mentioned about Mark Haskins, but he's coming back at the next RCW show to take on Owen Richards. We know it is a lot of confusion with we have two RCW champions, but I feel like this is going to be whoever's going to win this one. We're finally going to have just one RCW champion. Do you think, guys?
I'm going to say there's going to be no winner.
Ooh,
yeah, I think controversy. Controversy is coming. I just think there's going to be more to this than meets the eye. Yeah,
they'll come back with the hard one. Jerry, what do you think?
Yeah, it's kind of predictable. Haskins comes and he's I suppose, is he the favorite going into this match? Yeah, you'd say he is.
I just don't. I personally don't think he's the guy to beat Owen Richards after a long reign.
It just depends on his calendar. We need to figure out. We need to ask the powers to be how many dates has Haskins been booked in for the next fucking 6-8 months, and then we'll know. But
there you go, yeah.
Yeah, I like Haskins. My God, you know what I mean. He is one of the best in the world. You know what I mean. He's legit one of the best in the world. Like, but yeah, you wonder, like you wonder.
I
Like,
smell something in that match. I don't know what it is, but I smell it.
Ooh.
I'm looking into your eyes, and I think you have a glare of Anita coming out doing something. Maybe
I don't know. I just think there's some sort of, I don't know, will it be a DQ or a screwy finish or something?
Yeah. Well, let's revert back quickly. Sorry, no, Matt. Let's revert back quickly to that beef between Anita and Vicky.
Yeah.
Have they worked us all to this moment?
They might have outside of Ireland, but not here.
No, but the fact that they had a bit of a bargy there when Vicky and Anita went at it.
Oh yeah, about 6 months ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that was an
Is that
iconic
coming
moment.
to play now for this? Like,
Good.
Yeah. And I'm gutted because personally I'm gonna be gutted because this is gonna be my second RCW show. I won't be attending as I'm gonna be going over to Cyprus for a European project. So yeah, lads, I'm gonna have to ask you to keep me posted as much you can, all the confusion, all the little details, and I will actually keep an eye on it. Conor, what do you think, lad?
I think that like I don't know who can beat Owen Richards. I don't know, is there someone there? Maybe CBL, like I said, but I'd love to see Haskins win the title. But then you also have to ask, like Matt said, you have to check the dates if they're available. But he's also holding the Rebel X title as well at the moment.
Is he?
Yeah.
As far as I remember, holding the Rebel X title.
Yeah, he won it at the last one that you weren't at, Matt. So.
Oh yeah, that's what I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Matt's only back from Brussels. I think he's been drinking too many coffees.
I'm not drinking another coffee. But no, I think I was so focused on him being an RCW champion. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Out of my head. Now of course there was
that has to be defended.
Yeah.
But of course that was the future. We just talked about the great matches, but there was one moment that everyone is talking about, one moment that we're all gutted about, and that was Billy Bedlam was taking on Butch Armstrong with Luke Berry as the special referee, and Billy Bedlam came up victorious. He became the IWA champion. But people are talking about after the match that Billy Bedlam indeed confirmed that he hung up the boots and he will no longer be competing with RCW. I'm really gutted about that because I felt like Billy was there from the very beginning, boys, from the CZW days, and he built Phoenix from the ground up, and then he moved on to RCW. And of course, he's a friend of the podcast. We have so many times like meeting up with him, interviewing him, getting exclusive with RCW, and he makes the most amazing burgers that you'll probably ever have. Yeah, we have to air that out. Billy, if you're watching this, we have to air out to Judd Laundry. You make amazing burgers, lad. So, lads, what do you think about this moment for Billy?
I think in his head he probably wants to continue, but I knew he couldn't. You know what I mean? I just think it was a time because when we were talking to him, he seemed to be on the mend there in June. When me and Jerry, we were out with him, like the boot was off and everything, and he was back in the ring.
Yeah,
but I'd say it was just come to a point where it was just like there's a lot to be a wrestler, and it just if it's not if you can't put your full thing into it, there's no point in doing.
Yeah,
you'll just end up hurting yourself as well.
Like let's be honest, behind the scenes, look, like wrestling is life, you know what I mean, and it's
exactly.
great. But behind the scenes, like Billy has a big job outside of wrestling, a major job. You know, he's getting married soon. And I suppose when you're juggling a big job and you're juggling a lot of stuff, you know what I mean. I suppose it does take its toll. The fact he's in his 40s, you know what I mean, which is not a factor, but it's for me. I think first of all, I said it to Billy, and I said it to him straight after his matches. But I think he held himself back a lot over the years in the sense of like. He's always put the business first, and you know what I mean. And he could have wrestled, a bit more, and he has wrestled a lot, you know what I mean? But it's just, yeah, it's life. In reality, guys, life is hard, and I think, do you know what I mean? He's in a good position outside of wrestling, with a good job and everything else, you know what I mean? And yeah, it's horrible to see him bow out because, like, you know what I mean? Like Mr. Webb will know, like since the CCW days, Billy's been around, and we've been to the Commons, we've been to Gal Halls, we've been to the Kino with CCW. There's been a lot of stuff, and when you see a familiar face kind of hang up the boots, it's quite sad, you know what I mean? Because he's always gave 110%. So yeah, it's a tough one. It was quite emotional. I was actually more emotional before the match than I was after the match. I said that to him as well, because I knew, like, when he won the belt and he put up the boots, it was kind of like a good way to go out. But prior to that, then I was kind of annoyed. I was like, maybe you shouldn't. But obviously, you know what I mean? It's yeah, it's one of them things, you know what I mean? It's sad. But he's a legend, and his legacy will never be forgotten, and the entrances won't be forgotten, and the matches and the laughs, you know what I mean? Absolute legend.
Yeah. Conor, what about yourself? I feel like that you came in the exact same time Billy came into the Irish scene at this point, yeah?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Remember him tagging with Raven Creed in CCW as a tag team called Therapy. Then when CCW shut down, we had Phoenix, and Billy was in charge of that. He's grown so much. His entrances are absolutely amazing, especially in the path. The echo out of that place from the fans singing everything. It's amazing. He's truly going to be missed. Truly going to be missed. It's going to be weird not seeing him there. Even when he wasn't wrestling, he was still there. Yeah. But as far as I know, he's kind of backed away from from RCW for a while. So he'll be missed big time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember when down the Kino, Billy couldn't attend one show, and I think I was saying this to Jerry. I was like, I don't know why, but this is a good RCW is a good show, but this is weird not seeing Billy around the place. He's present,
yeah.
But even when he's no longer around, his presence will be there. He left a mark. He didn't leave a mark. Sorry, he left a scar in Irish wrestling and in the Cork independent scene that'll never be moved, and that is with RCW. And if down the line RCW is going to be, moving on, it'll still be a huge role in our scene where people know about RCW and will live on. So Billy, he's passionate about this, always has, set up, helped us so much in the past that I don't think me, Phil, and Jerry will ever repay him because of this. And I understand. I know this random, but Mark Cardona did say this in a talk that if you want to do this as a hobby, like only just like once a month and everything, work independent shows, that's great. But if you want to do this as a proper career, you can't do that. So the fact that Billy chose the path and as part time, but his heart was so into it as well, and that was just something you rarely
takes a
see.
lot out
So
of you, like it'll drain you as well. Like
yeah, would like that.
Yeah.
Even
it was great that he was able to do it with Butch and Luke as well, though. Two of his best friends inside the ring with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, the three boys. That I remember that moment, and I saw that photo that Mick Photography took, and it just tugged in the heartstrings. An amazing word. So, we will have Billy back on the show down the line probably. So he's not going to go anywhere down the line.
Yeah, he said give him a week or two and he'll be on.
Yeah. So keep an eye out, boys. That was RCW. Do you want to be a spaceman? So many matches happened that we didn't get a chance to cover. We apologize, but
just stick it there. Just before we move on from the Irish wrestling scene, did you see today about Hard Knocks' announcement?
About the next show, yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool venue, like that place. It wasn't the Milk Centre or something in Limerick.
Yeah.
Like it looks class, like.
Yeah.
Like it's a gigantic tent. If anyone doesn't know what it is, it's a big giant tent in Limerick City.
Yeah, game changer, really. Like, you know what I mean?
It looks like the English market. You know, it looks that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it for anyone who's never been to outside of a Cork show. It's like having having a wrestling match in the English market. How are they going to do it? But yeah, Hard Knocks is taking over in the Limerick scene. Because again, had a chance to go down there and it is popping like so. Actually, Conor, I know you're an RCW man to the dead ends, but have you ever went down to Hard Knocks? Got a chance
Never
to go?
been to another show besides RCW.
Oh wow, dedicated man, dedicated.
Yeah. I will sometime. I think I really want to go to Hard Knocks. I want to see Hard Knocks because everyone is telling me it's great up there. I'd also love to go see OTT at some stage.
OTT is always a show. We're buzzing for October. I'm not sure if you'll be going that in October.
Yeah, Finn Balor and JD McDonough is there.
Two independent wrestlers called JD McDonough and
Yeah.
they won a tag team titles, I think. I haven't kept up, but good job, lads. Great job. but yeah, and of course, we got a chance to open up the pre-show. I think I told you this. Like, we had a game plan on what to talk about with 5 marks. I got into the ring. It was my first time in the wrestling ring, and we did something very professional, and we wrestled. Great crack, Jerry.
Yeah, no, fucking that was all a blur. I think yourself and Martin and yeah, the boys, you were very cool. It was good start to the show, and obviously something different. But yeah, no, it was yeah, again, I think the highlight for me now, obviously, it was that obviously Conor there doing his thing, and the video, we put up a video of Conor on the Instagram WrestleSlam page that went absolutely viral, of him with different signs and stuff. So yeah, no, it's I'm looking forward to the next show, lads. I really am.
Yeah. Buzzing for the next one in December because I won't be able to go to the next one, but I'll be there in spirit, like Billy himself. And we're moving on for Irish scene. And we'll talk about another legend, and that legend is none other than. And we need to be careful, lads, because this is dangerous news. Because we're talking about the world's dangerous man, Ken Shamrock.
Yeah, he once put me in my place when I asked him a question. Me and Jerry interviewed about 2 years ago, yeah. And I was like, I was saying, why didn't you beat The Rock, or why didn't you win the world belt or something? Do you remember that? Do you remember when he kind of put me in? Yeah, he kind of said no one.
Took off the glasses.
Yeah, he did. To be fair, he was like, no one deserves anything in this business. But yeah. It's not as bad as when Tim was owned by Bishop, but it was still bad.
I remember that moment. I was just gonna say, is that why your ankle hasn't been the same since then? Probably put you in the ankle lock, probably. Yeah, like we talked about Ken Shamrock. He was on the show before. Guaranteed Hall of Famer, but he actually had confirmed in an interview with Chris Van Delt that he is going to be returning to WWE, that he re-signed under the Legends contract deal. I know there's a lot of people saying that hasn't confirmed as it, but he confirmed himself. He'll be coming back down the line, maybe as a Hall of Famer, because I feel like he's been in so many Hall of Fames at this rate. He was like, I'd rather do WWE.
A Royal Rumble appearance is what we want.
Yeah, I'd like it. We were hoping for that last year. Remember, we all sat down and waited for him.
Yeah. I remember I used to be kind of scared of Ken Shamrock when I was a kid. Just the fact that he just bangs his head, screams. And you know how, you're older, you're like, oh, I used to be afraid of that. That's weird. Now you realize, oh, Ken Shamrock can kill you if he wants to. So that makes it frightening. Conor, what about yourself? Do you have any memories of Ken Shamrock at all?
All I can remember is like he had some dangerous ankle lock. Like when he put that in, you were giving up straight away.
And just the way he just screams as well, as in like, you do not mess with him.
He's crazy. He literally is crazy.
Yeah. Because I remember, I think he said that about in the interview as well, about how he got into wrestling was because at the time the MMA scene wasn't as big as now. So he just signed up, obviously, to support his family for the paycheck. He didn't realize how big it was, how competitive it was, and he said if he can go back in time, he'll do it all again. And now we're talking about him about being a guaranteed Hall of Famer.
There's a match with him and Vader at in your house in May '97. It's probably the most hard-hitting match I've ever seen in WWE. Like
two absolute screw jobs.
I think it's more because Shamrock didn't know what he was doing. and I think he just battered him.
Yeah.
And they absolutely, like, if you go back and watch it, they absolutely leather each other really hard. It's probably the most realistic match I've ever seen in
So are
WWE.
you saying that? Are you saying that receipts was being returned?
I don't know. I think it was more of Shamrock didn't know what he was doing. I think he was just, I'm into wrestling and was going to hit and hit and hit. But he was in there with Vader, and it was just mad to watch. It's mad. It's a mad rewatch. If you go back and watch it, if you have time to watch it, it's mad.
Yeah. Himself and his rivalry with Steve Blackman, the Lethal Weapon.
Yeah. I remember.
So
I remember all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember
He
back
obviously got the King of the Ring win as well.
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll look back at the match with him and Steve Blackman. It's like, it's funny because they can actually kill each other in real life. And here we are in wrestling.
Yeah.
But and before we wrap up, we'll probably talk better next week because we'll be pushing to the show. But WWE Bad Blood is coming back. Drew McIntyre taking on CM Punk in Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell is coming back to his home. Finn Balor taking on Damian Priest. And Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley. And Cody Rhodes teams with Roman Reigns take up Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. Lads, what do you think of Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes at this point?
I don't like it if they do this when they're trying to fill time. I wish it was something else, but there's nothing. They're just holding off on time, basically. I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
Yeah.
I just one thing is about Bad Blood as well. It has a special time of 11 p.m. over here. Just so.
Yes, boy. Finally.
Yeah.
Get to the lava.
Yeah, 11 p.m. on whatever day is Saturday the 5th or something.
Nothing worse when it's 3 a.m. and you're almost at the main event and you're like that.
Yeah, it'll be over. It'll be over by 2:30.
Look at you work, Matt. You work.
I didn't fall asleep. It was only those 3 times. Let's move on. Conor, what about yourself? WWE news. I know it's weird talking about other companies besides RCW, but what do you think of Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns?
I'm the same. I don't like it either. I just feel we know what's going to happen. You know, as a wrestling fan, you know what they're working towards. But you know, they're just going to drag this out for as long as they can. It's
yeah.
It's going to be Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes at Saudi Arabia next month. November.
I mean, I know this sounds kind of cliche, but I would love to see that Cody actually announced Roman Reigns as tag partner, and we don't hear anything from Roman Reigns till the actual night.
Would have been better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I'm saying that thing on SmackDown was really good. The pitch thing was very good.
Really? Because I thought it was cringy as fuck.
I thought it was different. You don't really. Yeah, I like this.
Yeah, just the multiple camera angle shots and like it's kind of really killing it.
It was better than him talking in the ring, though. You know.
Yeah. Bold statement, but yeah, we'll talk better about Bad Blood next week when there's more matches soon to be announced because we're now on a wrap, boys. Thank you for watching, lads. This is the latest episode. We're gonna have more of Conor Webb down the line. Conor, do you have any last minute goodbyes or anything else?
I only have one thing left to say, and that's fuck the Saviors.
Oh, we're editing that shit out.
Okay.
We never edit the show, by the way. We never do.
All right, guys. That was this week's WrestleSlam from me, Jerry, and Conor. We'll talk to you. Jesus, we'll talk to you soon. Cheers, guys, for watching.